But the longer we wait, the more these people are prepared for a fight, because they know that eventually there's going to be a fight. But as it is now, my preference is for a peaceful negotiation of the problem. For Al-Qaeda, we cannot negotiate with them. Those who think that they can impose a new brand of Islam that the Prophet ﷺ did not impose on anybody, we are not going to spare them.
Now they are taken off serious. I think the message we've been getting is that unless and until you put your house in order, how can you come out to the wall and tell us that you are a respectable institution and you've mean business? Last night's actions demonstrates, is a testimony that, you know what, we are an organization, we are an institution that should be respected, that should be commended for, despite our limited resources, we are moving mountains. And I think I can even go beyond that. Now, apart from the UN, we have Africa Arab Summit, according to the Kuwaiti Emir, is slated for end of 2013. And again, all these other regional blocs are coming to the AU because they have realized that we are putting our house in order. The respect that we have now achieved internationally is something that should be attributed to the fact that now we are an institution solid and ready to move to meet the challenges of the global world.
Many nations in Africa are showing strong economic gains. And Africa has already made steady progress on education, gender equality, health, and poverty reduction. We have put millions of children in school. We have one of the best achievements on the MDGs is actually on education in Africa. Almost all your children are now given primary education. Tremendous increase in literacy in Africa, which will be a great investment in your future. And you are reaching targets, the MDG, to stop the needless death of mothers and children, although much more needs to be done on maternal health, and by the way also on sanitation, which is a crucial problem. We witness also how African states are harnessing the power of technology to help pregnant women. And many African nations experience growing per capita national incomes.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of Allah.
Bonds have been forged and commitments renewed. The Union did its best to expose the gains it made in the international arena that led to the invitation of the Emir of the State of Kuwait, His Highness Sheikh Sabah Al-Ahmad Al-Jabar Al-Sabah, as the guest of honor at the 19th ordinary session of the Union. It goes to show the extent of the support Africa continues to receive from Kuwait, which currently stands at $6.4 billion. In addition to a number of grants and aid to member states of the African Union, which is estimated at about $120 million. Behind the doors of this magnificent building, leaders were well into the process of electing commissioners into the executive arm of the Union. It pitted the incumbent Zhang Ping of Gabon against South Africa's Home Affairs Minister, Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma. After 3 rounds of voting, the former wife of Jacob Zuma was pronounced winner. She won by 37 votes, giving her the 2/3 majority needed.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to end my statement with a favorite quote from one of William Shakespeare's play, As You Like It. I quote, "All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time played many parts. I have played my part, and I now take my bow." I thank you.
My election is not a personal victory, but it's a victory of the African continent in general and of women in particular. I would like to also congratulate the Deputy Chairperson, Mr. Erastus Mwenche, for his re-election, and all the other commissioners who are going to form part of this team. And I would like to thank Dr. Zhongping for all the hard work that he has put into the work of the Commission. And I'd just like to say I've known him for some time when he was still Foreign Minister of Gabon. And I hope, even though you say you've bowed out, if I do knock at your door asking for advice, the door will be open. I'm aware that we shall only be able to discharge this responsibility by working with all member states and using all the talent that exists in our continent from all the regions of our continent. Our organization is now almost 50 years, and it was founded on the principles of unity. And it will be important to keep that unity and cohesion amongst ourselves.
What we've demonstrated is the maturity of Africa. It's not about being a woman, it's about being the best candidate. Yes, the last time, in January, there was a stalemate, but then there was a consensus, there was agreement that why don't we come again in July to make sure we'll make the decision. So we are very grateful in the sense that Africa is now speaking, it's with one voice, and that's what happened. So what it has demonstrated is the maturity and the democratic nature of the institution.
For the Gambia, it was one activity after another, each with a country with huge potentials and experience. The most prominent one is the signing of an agreement on the establishment of a joint commission for cooperation between the state of Kuwait and the government of the Gambia. The program, presided over by President Jammeh and His Highness Sheikh Sabah Al-Ahmad Al-Jabar Al-Sabah, signals the deepening of relations between the two states at the bilateral level.
I want to once again thank His Highness the Emir, the state of Kuwait, because Gambia is what it is today thanks to the Kuwaiti fund. The relationship between Gambia and Kuwait have always been very strong and excellent, and this current signing also is only further strengthening the relationship between Gambia and Kuwait. But we have very excellent relations, and it's not only for the Gambia, but the Kuwaiti fund has changed a lot of lives of millions of Gambia Africans, especially with regards to rural development, infrastructure development. A lot of Africans today have better living conditions thanks to Kuwait. So it's not only the Gambia per se, but I'm grateful on behalf of all Africans. We are grateful to the state of Kuwait, because Kuwait has done more for Africa than any other Gulf state or even the World Bank and the IMF put together. The Kuwaiti Fund, what they've done for Africa, what I know in Africa, is more than what the World Bank and the IMF did for Africa put together.
We have to celebrate. We have to celebrate Kuwait. According to His Excellency and the evidence we have, they have contributed to our socio-economic development for a long time. Infrastructure, education, agriculture, you name it. But what has been lacking is to document it and to make sure it is well structured. And these agreements, that's what we are doing, to make sure that we put it in place. Again, by structuring it, we know exactly the sectors. And this is all coming in the wake of the program for accelerated growth and employment, where we are linking it to make sure that anything that we do from now to 2015